here we have our HulaHoopers costume. This is going to be in black and white, and then white and black, so black and white polka dots. You're going to receive a template, this template, so you can just place your template down, draw around it and cut it out. Now this template, you'll see, is a little bit bigger than the fabric I have here. I don't know if your fabric is going to come like that or not, but I think yours was 114 and mine was 112, so if it doesn't fit, you don't have to worry about it. We can leave this edge straight on both sides. So I've folded over my fabric so I can cut two pieces at the same time. So just take a chalk or a pen or just something to draw around. You're going to draw your inside and your outside lines. Now I've put two little pins in this just to keep the fabric from moving on the edges there. You don't really need it. Polycotton is not a slippery fabric, so it's not too bad for moving. So that is pinned there and there, so that's me traced around. We've got two different widths here for the waist because we don't know what size the kids are, they're going to be wearing these, so we're going to have two different options. So I'll tell you on the package which to cut. So what you would basically do is use the template to cut your smaller waist, and then when you've cut your smaller ones, cut your template a little bit bigger and then cut the template for your bigger skirts. Okay, so that is your template. I've given you half a template, so it's best to just fold it over. So that is that. Now we're just going to cut our fabric. Again, as I was saying, it doesn't matter if you've left a straight line on the edge if your template doesn't quite fit. Right up to the edge, and again this part is straight on mine, it might not be on yours, and that is fine. So you're going to cut your waist. Your waist is made in an oval, so this template is actually an oval shape, not a circle. It's a little bit wider at the sides for your hips, so you're left with an oval shape in the center. That. Now because these are like a circle skirt, you want to leave some space at the back to get over people's hips and bums, so it's just pretty much a random length. I've drawn it on the template, but it doesn't really matter, so that just allows people to get inside easily and then they can close it tight. What it also does is if this waist is too big for some of the kids, when they tie it closed, that kind of bunches over and allows you to get a slightly smaller waist. Like that, if somebody's a bit bigger, that little split will stay open a little bit at the back and you'll gain 3 or 4 inches there on the waist. So that's your skirt template, finito. What you're going to do with this now is you're going to hem the edges. So it's just a very, very simple hem. Fold it over. I would only even do it once and do a stitch along the edge. Instead of, mostly you would do like a double hem to kind of hide the little threads. It's not really necessary on skirts like this because their costume is more than anything, so they're not going to be used loads. Okay, so you can just fold once and hem it all along, and then after that we're going to move on to our waistband. So here we have our skirt, and it's hemmed all the way around now. So you will see there that I only folded it once and I used the zigzag stitch over the edge, which allows you to capture all those little threads that might come out. If you prefer to double fold it, that is totally fine. I won't fight you on that one. Also, I have done the same thing with the back split in the skirt. Again, that's just a single fold and a zigzag stitch over the top. But what I've also done is put this little line at the bottom, which basically stops it from splitting all the way down. Okay, so that's quite an important little one to put in there. So I've also hemmed the waistband So got a long strip, 2 meter long. The size can be dependent on what you've got left in your fabric after you've cut your skirts. So, and what I've done at the end here is I've just folded the corner up and made a little pointed end, because I think that just looks nicer when it's all finished. So the next thing that you need to do is find the center of your waistband. It can be pretty rough really. So there's the center of the waistband. I am just going to put a little pin on that. Then you're going to find the center of your waistband on your skirt. So you can do it by eye really, because it's always going to be exactly opposite the split that you've just put in. This is really rough anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So then you're going to place your skirt and your waistband together. Okay, making sure the dots are facing each other. There we go. So you could pin this all the way around if you like. I'm not such a fan of pinning, because I think it just takes too long really, and every few minutes you can save on doing a costume is multiplied quite a lot by, well, generally we're making repeat costumes, so you save 5 minutes here, it suddenly becomes 2 hours. Okay, so basically you're just going to run this through the machine. You're going to go this way first, then you would turn it around, and then you would run that way, and that way you're not going to get the thing wrong. You're not going to get the match of the band wrong as you're going around. So when it's done, you'll end up with that much there for tying, maybe a little bit more for tying the back. And I always leave the waistbands really big, because if there is a split in the back, when that's tied at the back, it hangs over that, so it covers over that little split at the back, so that's quite good. So after you've cut all your circles, you would split whatever you've left into your waistband. So however much you've got left is how much you will have for the width of your waistband. And as I say, that's not it's not hugely important what size that is. That could easily be half and it would still look good, but I prefer a wider waistband. I think it's more comfortable and I think it just looks nicer at the back. So we're going to sew this now, and I'll show you that when that's done. So there we have our skirt complete. Quite a nice swing to it. And there's the back. Okay, so you can see the split is covered now. So we're also going to make a little bow for the girls in this costume. It can also actually be for the boys. We might just make little dicky bows for the boys, which will be made basically the same way. So we'll update you on that by the time you get these costumes. So basically you're going to take another strip of your dotty fabric. You can go the length of the fabric, rather the width of the fabric. And this is a little bit shy of the width, which is fine. A little bit bigger might be a bit nicer anyway. So if you go the width of your fabric and then you go about maybe 7 or 8 inches in, I'll give you the proper dimensions of this by the time you get this video. So you're going to take a length of it, you're going to fold it in half with your dots out the way. So cover all that grey fabric inside. Then you're going to run this through the machine the same way as you did with your hemming. Okay, so you're just going to fold over the edges, give that a zigzag all the way along. You don't have to worry about the end. Then you zigzag the other side, and you'll end up with an edge like that. Okay, so once this is hemmed, use your imagination now, this is hemmed, you're going to take pretty much the center point and you're going to fold the outsides in like that. Okay, then you're going to tuck these corners in. This is giving you kind of the basic shape of your bow. So tuck your 4 corners in. If you want to pin this down, that's totally fine. I didn't bother, but you know how I feel about pins. So then you're just going to fold these over the tiniest amount, just so that you've got the 2 caught on each other. You're going to run that through the machine then, so that you've got this center stitch. Okay, and I'm just going to show you on this one. This one I've done already. So we use Lycra for this, which is really nice against the skin, and also it doesn't fray, which is really great. So anytime we're doing like headbands and things, Lycra is always a good choice, a lovely stretch to it. Okay, so we're going to give you a strip as well of Lycra to put either for on the head or for around the neck. So you'll see here now. There we go. So that's your sewn part. Like that. So let's get rid of this one. So that's what you're left with, this little bow shape and then the square on the back. So we're going to use a small bit of Lycra to tie our bow. So you can pop that down first and pop this on top. Now you're just going to pull in your edges and basically just squeeze your center. That's pretty much all you're doing. And then you're going to tie this in a single knot. Right, and you'll see on the outside that gives a nice clear defining line. You're only going to do it once because you're going to do the second time with the headband inside. So get about the middle of your headband and then tie that the second time. Now if you pull this really tight, you've seen how difficult it was for me to get it open. Lycra is also good like that. Okay, and then you can just trim off these edges. As long as you're sure you've got it nice and tight, trim off those edges. So that's it. That's your little bow.